Creed 3 has finally arrived in theaters, and with it, the directorial debut of Michael B. Jordan. But can this franchise work without Rocky Balboa? We need to talk about it. What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Jones Vibes. If you're new to my channel, I talk about all things movies and television, and I'm also fighting Pretty Ricky Conlon. And today, I'm very happy to be talking about Creed 3, and I just want to let you know I'll be talking some spoilers, so beware. But I'm not sure if I've mentioned this before on my channel, but one of my favorite genres of film is sports movies. Movies like Miracle and Warrior and Friday Night Lights, there's just something about them. And the Rocky franchise was something that I definitely grew up watching kind of on and off. And so when it came time for Creed, I was stoked. I had seen Fruitvale Station and just kind of recognized that cohesiveness between Michael B. and Ryan Coogler. And you know, after watching that, I had no doubt that Creed would be something special. And it was. The first Creed is honestly one of my favorite sports movies of all time. And I thought the second one, although it didn't quite have the same magic, managed to do enough. Honestly, just the campiness of the whole Drago storyline is everything to me in that movie. It's just constant she left us and we must drink Creed blood. But those two movies have a very important element that this new movie doesn't have. Rocky Balboa. Sylvester Stallone is phenomenal, and in my opinion, he was snubbed the Best Supporting Oscar that year for the first Creed.
Mark Rylance, Bridge of Spies.
He has been phenomenal in these movies, and Rocky and Adonis have this beautiful chemistry that doesn't come easy. And so with Creed 3, I was really interested to see if they could take that torch and just kind of carry on this thing without him. I'm not sure if you remember, but at the end of the second movie, he looks at Adonis and he's like, "It's your time now." So I had a feeling that this is where it was going, but I was still just kind of apprehensive. And now, after seeing Creed 3, I can honestly say that it was a knockout. But seriously, I loved it. I'm honestly shocked at how much I loved it, and for the same dang reason as the last movie review that I did, Jonathan Majors. This dude is just punching his way through Hollywood right now, and it's a sight to see. And like I mentioned, it's also the directorial debut of Michael B. Jordan. And I'll put this out to y'all first things first, how did you feel about this? Because I don't know, dude, the camera work in this movie was sick. There were some really interesting stylistic choices. I think the highlight being the clear references to anime. The big news story that was coming out before this movie was that Michael B. Jordan has a very, very big passion for anime. He's a massive fan, and that appreciation was going to somehow come across within this film, and he made it happen. And I liked this story a lot. I liked the way that it was kind of weaved throughout this whole film. Dame and Donnie were basically brothers, and in a situation that could have easily altered Adonis's life, it was Damien that suffered the real consequences. Obviously, he had the gun, and he ends up spending 18 years behind bars and watches his basically brother live out all of his fantasies. And that right there is enough to create a solid villain, and Damien is just that. You have real sympathy for him in this movie, but he also crosses the line a few times, to the point where it's absolutely necessary for Creed to step in. Majors has these moments, though, whether it be anger or just toughness and swag, where his presence on screen just demands attention. But in the midst of this, Creed loses Marianne, which I found really emotional, and the battle for him is a much more mental game this time around. The second tapped into that quite a bit, but you just see elements of his past that haven't really been revealed yet, childhood trauma and things. And he's come so far, but he has to get his mind back into the ring because he's been doing everything but fighting, like parenting. And I thought the use of sign in this movie was great with Amara, and I was honestly curious to see how they were going to handle that after the second, whether she had progressive hearing loss like Bianca or not. But this film does move really quickly into that final fight, and as always, we get this awesome training montage. You're always kind of expecting that. I was really hoping that it was gonna work out.
Okay.
But then you have the walk out into the stadium, which is always super cool. Ryan Coogler did that so well in the first movie, but then boom, we are in the fight. And I'll say that this is where the movie felt different. And the first one was fantastic. What Ryan Coogler did, kind of like I was mentioning, he brought a vision to boxing that had never been seen. And then the second one kind of just tried to maintain that same vision, but this one had a whole new feel and it ruled. It was so immersive and I was just impressed as all hell. But then all of a sudden Creed hits these jail bars and you're like, what? And suddenly they're all alone in the stadium, which we just haven't seen anything like this. The lighting starts to change to different colors and the fight gets really brutal and personal. It was almost barbaric at times. Honestly, it might be my favorite fight in the entire Rocky and Creed franchise. I don't know. But it ends happy, which was great. You know, Dame and him see eye to eye, and Creed, it seems like maybe realizes that he's not ready to retire. That's kind of what I was getting. I don't know. It was hard to tell, and I guess that brings me to really my only jab, no pun, with this movie is that I just think that it could have benefited with another, gosh, even 15, 20 minutes, even 10 minutes, just for the story's sake. I would have liked to have seen Dame kind of like Drago in the last one. You see some snippets of Drago fighting other people. I kind of would have liked to have seen that from Dame. By the time the final fight rolls around, he just has that one fight under his belt, and it still doesn't really feel like the whole fan base and world is behind him. And so it could have been cool had they added a little bit extra to that. But I still absolutely loved this movie, and I'm gonna give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I know. It was so good, dude. It was so good. But enough about what I think. I want to know what you thought about it. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What did you think about the absence of Rocky Balboa? Please let me know down in the comments. And also, and as always, if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a like. It's a totally free way to show your support. And if you're looking for more content like this, feel free to subscribe. But Creed 3 is here, and now the question is, will there be a Creed 4? I guess we'll see.
Jones.